Hi, welcome to another episode of Lobdell Universe. For some reason today, my daughter Rose decided, let's record, and I have no idea what to expect. So here we are, 2 days after Thanksgiving. So let's start with, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
That was actually one of the things on here, Thanksgiving, pros and cons to it.
And?
A pro I had to Thanksgiving was hanging out with the family, playing Uno, playing poker. I like doing that because it gets you off electronics, but still gives you fun. I mean, Lane might not enjoy like that, but I do.
Or most kids.
Yeah, I liked it because I am an oddball, like 7.
An oddball like who?
7.
Who's 7?
No, my lucky number I said was 7.
Oh,
and the reason before.
What does that got to do with being an oddball?
Because 7's like an odd number, and it's like when you think of a number, you think of like out of 10, you think either half or 1 or something like that. You don't really go to 7.
I do.
Because it's like an oddball for me.
It's not an oddball.
For me, it's like a weird number that just sits there, but I like it. Because it reminds me of me. I'm just an oddball that sits there.
Okay, then.
Like in the corner of the room, just be like, the oddball. Are you grabbing a beer right now? Crack it in the mic. Crack it in the mic.
Do you want to squirt?
Yes.
You do want to squirt?
Yeah.
Or just are you a squirt?
I'm both. I want and am both. Oh, wait. Do I have to go downstairs to get mine? Because I don't drink squirt like that.
That's why I said that. Do you like squirt? And you said yes.
What's the other one I drink?
I don't know.
Spear Mist? No, Should I go downstairs and get that real quick?
No.
It's the blue. You can't see that? No. No. I think that's open too.
I don't think it is.
Did it have a...
It looked like it was closed.
I could hear that in the mic.
That's been opened.
Oh.
You can put that in the trash.
Uh-huh. Teamwork.
You didn't have to throw it in.
I literally just dropped it in and it just went...
There you go.
That's better. Thank you.
Gatorade. It's thirst aid for your body, for that deep down body thirst.
That's going to be annoying for you.
That is extremely annoying.
Do you want me to rip it off?
But what a surprise. My daughter being annoying about anything.
Should I just rip it off?
No. Once you open it, you won't have to worry about it. Just open it. Or do that. Today is not brought to you by Gatorade.
No, it's just a good drink.
It is not a partner, a sponsor, or anything like that.
It's better than Prime. People are going to hate me for that if we actually post this.
Well, it was all pretty annoying. No, it's not, but it's definitely better than Prime. Yeah.
No, people are at my school like bringing Prime and being like, hey, I'll trade this to you for like so-and-so $5 or something when you can buy it for like $2. And they're like, deal. And I'll be over there in the corner being like, I've never had Prime in my life and I don't plan to. And someone will be like, Prime or Gatorade? Like, Bodie goes around being like, Prime or Gatorade? Or some random question, cat or dog. And
Body Armor is still way better. But let's have a quick little break. There we go.
That's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff. Okay. So we were talking about Thanksgiving, and you said you had a horrible time the entire week.
I never
You
said
hated
that.
every second of it. Dealing with grandparents, dealing with your parents. It was horrible for you.
I never said that. I said I enjoyed hanging out with family, unlike other children.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say a con was, for me, I'm going to say this to everything. You're going to ignore me by this, okay? Ignore me. This is me. I did not really care for the food. I would eat it again, but I didn't really care for it.
You're insane.
I told you, ignore me.
I couldn't have made a better dinner. I mean, it's the best I've ever made in my life.
Yeah, you made such a good dinner.
Oh, I mean, it was amazing.
It reminded me
the
of
turkey,
the Millards.
the ham.
Millards. What did it remind me of?
The middle?
No. The restaurant that we got it from.
Monell's?
Monell's.
That was the point.
I know, it reminds me of Monell's.
You only went there once. How does it remind you of it?
because it's their food. It's like, why do you think you're your mother's child? Because I came from her.
But you know, so okay, let's backtrack for a second. Luckily, we live in Nashville. You know, talking to the grandparents about this stuff and being raised in such a small town for my childhood. Not only was it that back then no one did this, but second of all, it was such a small town. Who would have done it without going to Boardman or some other town in Ohio to get it? So, living in Nashville now is so awesome to be able to sit there and go, why am I cooking? It doesn't cost that much to pay someone else to do everything for us and better than we could have done. So this is our third year in a row that we've paid for our Thanksgiving dinner and had it, picked it up the night before and just basically reheated it the next day. But the difference has been the first year was
barbecue. No,
well,
that
it
was
wasn't really.
year.
It was sort of barbecue, but yeah, it was weird.
It was a mix.
And the turkey was good, but the corn was like the worst corn I've ever had in my life, where it was like all smoky flavored, and it was really like disturbing to have corn that had such a horribly strong smoke flavor to it. Couldn't stand it at all. I've never had corn taste like that in any way, shape, or form. Then last year we did barbecue from Edley's, and it was pretty good. It was all right, but it was kind of missing the point, and I wasn't really impressed with all of it overall. Again, the turkey was great, but the sides were just kind of, didn't really care. And so then this year, Mom found, that one of our favorite restaurants in Nashville, Monell's, which is Thanksgiving every single day you go there. It doesn't have to be on Thanksgiving. So what's the difference? Why not just do the exact same thing we've done every time we've gone there? So they cooked everything, and it was to die for. It was perfect.
So I forget what you said, the place of the barbecue last year.
Edley's.
You want to know my reaction for that?
Go ahead.
I hate barbecue.
I know you do.
So I was like,
but tough, because barbecue is awesome. You also hate food in general. You're not really a good.
Food is
you
my
can't
nemesis.
be a food critic in any way, shape, or form because you don't eat anything.
I am a food critic.
You can't be a food critic. You have to actually eat food to be a critic.
I do.
You eat bread, chicken, romaine lettuce, and that's pretty much your life.
Actually, I also
Pasta.
You forgot one thing. My main hors d'oeuvre, my name food, air.
That would be the hors d'oeuvre, yes.
I don't know why. It just tastes so good. It's like
the
neutral.
appetizer.
Yeah.
And the dessert.
And just the food.
Yeah. Someday you're going to have to actually try food. This is coming from someone who's extremely picky. So if I can do it, you can do it.
Actually, you're not extremely picky. You're picky. I'm beyond picky.
You're beyond even caring about food. And we don't really need to hear you swallow every single time.
I don't mean to do that. You want me to hold it there, but
No, you just kind of don't swallow so fast.
Can you turn it down to a 6, please?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Wait, did I turn yours down or mine down? Wait, that was the mic.
That was the mic.
Don't turn the mic down. Turn this down.
Yeah.
There we go. Much better.
Sorry, like the whole time I was like, when we're in the car and you're on a phone call, it goes. That was a bad impression, but you get what I mean. It like rings in my ear.
No, I don't understand anything you just said.
Okay, so when we're in the car and you either get a phone call or you're playing music, depending on the type of music or however you have the phone call, whenever you get a phone call, it rings in my ear because you have it at 17 on the volume.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of used to that.
It's actually a different volume for the ring, but I get your point.
But anyway, it's loud, and I haven't been in your car in a bit, so I'm not used to that. And now that just rang in my ear. So.
Woe is you.
Woe is me. Whatever should I do? Okay. So
I thought the food was fantastic, especially because we didn't have to work hard at it. And what was funny was that Grandma was like dying to have me cook a turkey because she doesn't want to anymore. And I'm like, I don't want to do it either. I've been spoiled.
So we bought 3
and
big
let me
things.
clarify something here. I forgot. Let me clarify the point of what I was saying. First and foremost, So we got Monell's this year, okay, first. Second of all, it's not like it was even that expensive. It was like $60 for three to four people.
I thought it'd be like 50 per thing.
No, but it was per bag that we got. It was like $60 per bag.
Oh, I thought you said 60
Each
for
bag
all
was
three.
supposed to be 2 to 3 people. So we figured, well, we're going to have 6 people, so we need 2 bags. So there's $120. Still, for 6 people, that's just as cheap or cheaper than going to the Mexican restaurant that we go to. That's still not that expensive. And that's not including drinks or anything like that, but still. So we got 3 of them thinking that obviously the grandparents are going to take some home and we're going to eat plenty that day and so on and so forth. So still, we spent then, $180 on our Thanksgiving dinner with no work to it. I'm pretty sure the last couple of years, because it's only been the 4 of us, it was at least 120 or more for us to do it for just the 4 of us. So this was cheaper than we've ever spent, less work than you can ever imagine, and probably better than I could have cooked myself. So
right.
Where's the negative to it?
There isn't a negative, but there is one thing I want them to clarify for the Monels. Or I want Monels to clarify for their service. They say 2 to 3 people for 1 bag. On Thanksgiving night, by the end of it, the only thing we finished out of 1 tub from 1 bag was the turkey.
And
we had
potatoes.
6 people.
And the mashed potatoes.
And we had 6 people.
Yeah. But there was so many choices.
I know, with all this, I barely ate anything.
There was 5 different sides, 2 different meats. Mm-hmm. And then I forced myself to eat the pie, even though I didn't care. That was okay. That was the least of all of it. But still, I was very impressed. And I would never go backwards and do it myself again for that cheap of a... I mean, that's worth every penny of it. Mm-hmm. Because we got to have so much more fun doing things together instead of Mom and I stressing for 2 straight days trying to get ready for it.
Yeah.
So I don't see the issue, and I don't know if I could ever go back to cooking a Thanksgiving dinner. Now, Christmas, on the other hand, is different because I don't think we can do that as easy for that day. So we probably will cook a turkey on Christmas, but we're not as big of a rush.
I told him, read the door. Okay.
Sorry for the interruption. Lane, my son, decided to open the door for a second, not read the sign right at his head that said recording in process.
Actually, I'm going to give credits to him. That one, I put a little smaller because I thought Mom would walk in because he was literally over there, and I put that one bigger.
Why couldn't you just do this?
And then on that one, in the process, I spelled it wrong. I did where the C is supposed to be an S.
Processes?
Processes.
Recording in processes.
Recording in princess. Okay, next topic.
Okay, wait. So,
okay, never mind.
Hold on. You've had an entire week off of school, which is also crazy, which has never been done before. Mm-hmm. It's not that you just had Wednesday before Thanksgiving off. Mm-hmm. You had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You had 5 days off of school for Thanksgiving.
Plus weekend.
Then, of course, we have a normal weekend. So we had a weekend before. So that's 10 days between the 2 weekends for Thanksgiving.
And when I went to Aiken with Metro, I think it's Metro.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forget what Aiken was in. Anyway, when I went there, they had only a few days off, not even the whole week. When we got the whole week off, which was kind of better because...
This is not normal. You don't get a whole week off normally.
At Valor, yes.
Yeah, but at other schools, no.
I know. Well, Metro. Some other schools do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, what I was trying to say is when we were at Aiken, when I was at Aiken, and then you and Mom were stressing to cook, I would come home try and be like, Mom, I need to study social studies with you. And she would be rushing to get the food done, and I wouldn't have time to study. And so now that you guys don't make it and you just come home, put it in the fridge, and then walk off, it's easier for me to be hey, I need some help with this, or blah, blah, blah. I want to play pool, and you're fine with it.
Yeah, no, it's been a very casual week. It's been kind of nice. I mean, I had to work, and took you guys to work on Monday and everything like that, but still, it's been a relatively easy week. Okay, so that's what I wanted to clarify about your week, because it's not normal to have a whole week off, and, we've done a lot together, and of course, I've been rebuilding a room the entire time.
Did we have a week off in last year?
I don't remember again. No,
I can't remember either. I'm not really good
I
at
don't
that.
think you did.
If it's over 2 weeks ago, I cannot remember.
If it's over a day ago, I have trouble remembering.
Yeah. If it's over like a week or two, if someone's like, what did you do yesterday? I'll be like,
Obviously, she's pausing for drama there and trying to think of it. Speaking of drama, are you going to try out for Zombie Prom?
yes.
They're making a show called Zombie Prom for their
Not a sh-
school, which
not a
is
show.
very straight. What do you mean?
It's not a show.
Yes, it is.
It's a musical.
Well, it's a play. Or music. It's still a show.
That's not, no, a show goes on a streaming app and it is streamed.
No, that's a TV show. There are multiple shows. There's Broadway shows.
Anyway, next. Continue.
What do you think about that? Like, what are you going to do for it?
I want to ask my friend, so if I want to, since it's around Christmas time, it's like the 6th or 7th. I'm signing up for the 6th. I'm planning to either do a Christmas song or a different song. I forget which one it was. I have it in my Amazon. I know which one when I see it.
A Christmas song?
Yes, because it's like really close to Christmas. So I'm asking my friends to see if they're doing like a special song to them, a song that's easy, or like something else.
Why
And
don't you ask the theater teacher?
she says we could do anything, but if I go there and like am the only one trying to do like a little Christmas something, like a little Christmas song, I feel weird.
I think you should do a section of A Christmas Story.
What?
A Christmas Story, my favorite movie, you know.
No, you have to sing. You have to do
That's
60,
true, there's no
30
singing
to
part in
60
that.
seconds of singing.
Okay, you got lucky on that one.
Either way, I wouldn't do that because I don't really remember the movie.
I know, that's why I brought it up.
Okay. If you want to go to the next topic, I really
You
don't.
go right ahead. I think you are done talking about the amazing week you've had off.
When I swallowed, I'm like, oh, sorry, my bad. I was trying to make it where you don't have to hear.
Or just swallow quietly.
Oh, your podcast that just came out in like on Amazon, your podcast.
What about
next
it?
Topic. What are you excited for? What's happening on it? And like, are you
You want me to
planning-
do an advertisement for my other podcast on this podcast?
No, because people may like hit to see, oh, Rick Lobdell has more podcasts, but also if you're like, oh yeah, I have a Concrete Mystique podcast, they're like, he has another podcast.
Yes, I
So-
do. In fact, this is the other podcast. That is the podcast. This is the other.
Wait.
I'm going to let you think about that one for a second.
Okay, so to my head, I'm like, is the family the family, or is your like work the work,
Yeah.
or concrete the work?
Concrete Mystique's podcast is the number one podcast. This is the other one in our spare time.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
Well, they do now because I just told
Yeah.
them.
Well, I mean, like, if you say, hey, if you like this, go to the other podcast. Check out the other podcast.
Ladies and germs, check out Concrete Mystique, the podcast, if you want to learn more about concrete and the people involved with the concrete industry, including people that do art, not quite like mine, but close enough. Why would you put a pencil on your mic and make noise on that?
No, look, it's sitting there.
What else do you want to know about the podcast? Like,
Actually, I never got to watch your newest one yet. I really forgot about it.
oh, no, that's a separate one. Okay.
Okay, well,
So you're
come on
talking
to know
about the one that I was on. I was on somebody else's.
Yes, I wanted to know about
And that one is, okay, now it makes more sense. Thank you. Okay, that one is called Feeding Your Senses. And the thing is
Not
that's one of my good friends, Trey Mitchell. And it's a crazy story, Rose, actually. It's a good question.
Okay,
now that I understand why you're asking it. Sorry.
One sec. You said it was feeding the whatever.
Senses.
Okay, Trey Mitchell. I'm sorry I laughed at that. I didn't mean to be rude. It's just that's a unique name.
It is. That's the point. See,
I know.
I don't have unique names. Concrete Mystique and Lobdell Universe aren't cool names. Everybody's been like, you got to come up with a better name. But I already own the rights to them, so I don't want to come up with a better name.
Anyway, continue. Sorry, I interrupted.
Okay, so Trey has been doing this for a while. I think I'm like the 80-something interview or whatever. So he's been doing it for maybe 2 years. And the interesting thing to it is when Mom and I first moved to Nashville, more importantly, when I first moved to Nashville, I had to figure out how this town worked. You know, I'm moving from a small city to a big city, and I don't know anybody here, and don't know how to get into the art world and all that kind of stuff. And so this, I actually, if I'm not mistaken, Mom's old boss, when she was in the cancer lab, his wife ran the art department at one of the finest private schools in the city. And so she was like, we went out to dinner and she said, let me help you out. You need to look up this, and started to give me like feedback on what I needed to find in the town to go find the art world here. And so I did. I got involved and I started doing art shows with these groups. They were called Untitled. And when I went to do that, I got introduced to Trey and some other people associated with his group, and his group was Uncensored. So that's why Feeding the Senses, Uncensored, was his previous thing, and it was a magazine he was doing locally, and it was a great art magazine. He even had his own like awards called the Starvies for starving artists and things, and so I got introduced to them, and for a year, your mom and I helped with Uncensored magazine. So I got involved really quick. I mean, you're talking within 3 to 6 months of moving here, I was already, boom, involved with the art community here, getting into art shows, scheduling all this kind of stuff, painting all the time in my apartment, because at that time we just had an apartment. We didn't have our first house yet. And then on top of that too, remember how I tell you all the time about when we go out on the lake and I say, hey, right there at that island, that's where we used to go camping. We need to do that again. He's the one that took me camping there. He's the reason why I know about that island and where to go and what to do. So we after 2004, so I met him in 2003. In 2004, we did a 48-hour film festival together, which means you have 48 hours from 5 o'clock on Friday to 5 o'clock on Sunday. You have 48 hours to film, to write, film, edit, a short film, everything.
So
48 hours.
What if you took 24 hours to film it and then you went home and took like 24 hours to edit it?
Well,
that would work.
Where do you sleep? What is that?
See if the mic.
That's something.
The mic did not pick it up. Anyway.
Something's going on outside.
I
There's a crazy
think
vibration all of a sudden.
It's the garage door.
No, it's not opening. It might be Elaine.
It's the
lawn.
mower.
Is he mowing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to talk to him about that. It's another side. Anyway, so in 2004, we did this 48-hour film. Over the next year, we started. He got married. All this kind of stuff was going on, and then boom, we didn't talk to each other for 20 years.
20 years.
Almost.
20 years.
It was 18 years.
Wow.
18 years where we didn't talk at all. Because he went off in his own little world, and it's okay, like not in a negative way. There wasn't any issue. It's just we went our own ways. I went into theater. I ended up being the president of the theater group.
Theater?
Yeah, so I went into theater for Nashville. I mean, I'd done theater in Savannah, but I started doing theater for Nashville, I was on the board. I wasn't in the theater, but I was on the board for it. And he went off into his photography world, and we just kind of parted ways for almost 20 years. And then he reached out to me in August and was like, hey, I'm doing this podcast about artists. Would you like to be on it? That was the first time we talked in almost 20 years.
How did he get connection of you?
Well, of course we're connected because of social media and everything else.
Oh, okay. Because I was scared he was going to go on somewhere where it's like, if you want to text for Lobdell, use his phone number and go to my phone. I'm like,
no, they don't have that phone number. They all had the other one back then. That phone number didn't exist back then. That's how long ago it was. That's before I started working for Concrete Mystique.
You made Concrete Mystique.
No, I worked for it for 3 years before I bought it.
I thought you made it.
No, it was around for three or 4 years before I got hired. So it was about I think it was like 6.5 years, maybe 7 years when I bought it that it had been around. That's why I bought it, because it was already established. And then I turned it into what it is today because of it.
Is it still a thing or?
No. Well, this is. I mean,
No, I mean like the business, because like the warehouse is like not used anymore, really.
No.
Uh-huh.
No, I've moved on. I've retired from all that hard work, so I can spend more time with you.
So I forget what podcast.
So you were asking about the podcast. So that was a really interesting interview because then on purpose, I didn't talk to him before the interview. So when we sat down, it was raw. It was the first time we had talked in almost 20 years. We literally when I walked into his house, we said hi and introduced ourselves for a second. And he explained to me the podcast and we sat down and then boom, we went into what the hell's, happened 18 years ago. And it was a crazy interview because the start of it was catching up. So the whole point of the interview was about me and what I do as an artist. But I was like, no. What happened?
How is photography? How is Concrete Mystique?
And so we led into all of that. But yeah, it's a great interview because it's very personal. It's extremely personal. We talk about a lot of problems that he was having back then personally and where he was at in his life and everything like that too. Like we even borrowed his truck to move into our first house, to move from our first apartment together to our first house together. We borrowed his truck, moved into our house, and then a week later ran off to get married, came back to no HVAC unit, no heat and air unit, and he knew that whole story. That was back when we were together or, hanging out and doing stuff.
So you borrowed his truck. Did you return and go have a honeymoon? Or, and then...
Well, we never had a honeymoon. Our honeymoon was moving into our house and organizing and...
Oh.
Because I had to do a lot of work.
I mean, for me, organizing's fun, but for other people, it'd be like, that's not a honeymoon.
No, it was not a honeymoon.
But it's also like when you're kind of young and you get married, you don't have like much money to go on a shopping spree and have a honeymoon.
First and foremost, we didn't have much money, and second of all, well, that house was supposed to be. We were supposed to have bought that over 2 or 3 months before that, but there was complications trying to get it, and it was our first house and all this kind of stuff. It took 106 days to close on that house instead of 45.
Wow, that sounds hard. Because it's like, oh, you just get married. Oh, how's your life going? And a lot of people are like, oh, it's so great. I love being married. No, it's stressful. We don't have our house yet. People aren't finishing all this stuff.
Well, we had to get it before we got married. That was the whole goal.
I know.
But time was of the essence. It was close.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is the mudroom.
Okay, what about the mudroom?
So my question is the plans for bringing in the new organizer. Is that what you call it? With the hooks and the little
it's called a
cubbies.
No, it's called a
Shoe.
No.
That's on camera.
No, it's on camera.
No, the intro be like, if you literally make the intro
I almost dropped or knocked over my can and caught it in midair as it rolled around in a circle.
It's like you catch it like this.
It's called I forget, something tree, but it's not really what it is. It's just a mudroom. That's just what you do in a mudroom. It's
where you hang coats. You can store your shoes.
It's a cubby basically. For each of us. Yeah. It's going to reorganize that entire room. It's going to change everything.
I know. When we had it before with Puppy and him in the corner at the vent, we had the shoe rack right by it, and the shoe rack was busted. The one hook kept coming off, and the shoes kept coming off, and then the table. And then
of course, what also happened was that all of your shoes got too small, and you never took them off there and just left them there.
Yeah, I had from, I want to say 3 years ago, for example, was some swimming shoes I just left there. Yeah. And just piled on another pair of shoes.
Just left it, never even did anything with it, never cared.
And then when I came home, instead of putting my shoes in the shoe rack, I just put them on the floor in front of it.
The other thing, too, is the floor was carpet. Mm-hmm. So you're coming out of your garage into the carpeted floor, so it was nasty. It was always dirty. There was no way to clean it. Mm-hmm. We had we have that carpet cleaner. The carpet cleaning machine that worked great in there, but I was tired of doing it all the time. And then you'd have to walk through a wet carpet for days as that dried. Mm-hmm. No matter how you looked at it, that room was a pain. Mm-hmm. There was a closet that wasn't a closet anymore because it used to have a washer and dryer in it way before we bought the house, and they moved it. So that closet was kind of pointless. The cabinets never opened correctly. I mean, there was nothing positive about that space. It was useless. Now it's not.
Yeah, it used to be where the one side would come in and then the top would come in, so the doors on the top would just like not really open, so you had to be like.
Yes, it was.
And then I was always too short, so I was like on a step stool where my head was like right here, or my head would be here, the top would be here, and I was like.
Yeah, and they were really deep
Yeah.
cabinets, so we'd lose things in the back that we didn't know was there, and no, none of that's ever going to happen again.
Well, I mean, I might lose some things in there, but like it's not going to be as dirty and musty.
No, and you're still going to be able to drop you're finally going to be able to put your clothes down in the clothes chute again.
I miss that. Because now if you
Less
try and
than
do
2
it, it
weeks.
just falls straight on the floor, on the 6.
So what do you think about the floor in there, speaking of?
I kind of like the, compared to the last floor, yeah.
Compared to the last floor? You mean compared to the carpet? Well, that's not hard to be better than. It was ugly carpet that was like 50 years old or 30 years old. But what's crazy is to think about all the changes that room had already had. Because the cabinet that we took down, that was the shelves that were on the wall, were not the original shelves. Or else that wallpaper wouldn't have been behind it.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to think about the history of this house. And this house is nowhere near as old as our old house. Our old house was from 1934.
34.
34, and the windows were still original from 34. That's why it was our gas and electric bill were just as high as this house is, and it's 3 times the size, because it was a constant airflow through there. And we didn't have the money to buy new windows. So then you come here, and this one's from 1975. This house is as old as me.
Are you 75 or 76?
74.
Oh.
So I'm 1 year older than this house.
Wow. I did not know that was a thing.
So you look at it that way and you go, okay, what's all the changes that have happened?
No, you look at it that when you're like, you're old.
Thanks. That's exactly what your dad wants to hear in the middle of an interview. I can't react to that one. What am I going to say? You're right.
I am, though.
If I didn't have grandma and grandpa around, I might agree with you.
What do you mean?
They're old.
Oh, yeah, they're old. You're, like, getting to old.
Oh, so there's old, and then there's just old.
So I would say old would be when you hit, like, 55 to 60, so you're getting there. You're getting there.
Thanks, appreciate that.
I mean, Mom's younger, though.
When you turn 50, they say you're over the hill.
Oh, because you're halfway there.
Yeah.
You're not over the hill, you're on the hill.
No, you're over because...
Like, physically.
You're over because what's the chances you're going to live to 100?
Pretty high.
No.
No, unless you have, like, cancer or
No.
I was about to say alopecia. Not alopecia.
Alopecia. Where the hell did that come from?
YouTube. Unless you have, like, cancer or something where it, like, makes you die at 75, you could probably live to, like, 99.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I want to, but we'll see.
Hey, you're at the top of the hill then.
Mm-hmm.
You might fall down the hill sometime. Just roll down it.
And start singing The Wheels on the Bus Go round and round, and I'm the wheel on the bus going round and round.
Mm-hmm. I saw a video. There are these people who do, like, POVs. And
Point of view?
It's where it's like POV blah 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 blah, where like it's a scenario and they like do a skit of it on YouTube. But anyway, one person did it where they were, when I go to like a when you're old and you go to one of the homes that they take care of you. Nursing home. She would be like crazy, rambunctious, and loud. And I know she would sing, like the people would be like, shh, quiet down, and she would be like, no, the wheels on the bus, like screaming in the middle of the room. And I'm like, that's probably me when I get older, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, Mom and I have talked many a times about how we're going to be when we're older. So what did you think about the floor in the mudroom, though? Like, that was a lot of work to get there, but the end result's not too bad.
Mom said you were testing things where you had like 5 different things you tested and one finally worked on top of a different one.
Well, I knew the end result would, I was going to get there, but yes.
The yellow shine, like the golden, I don't know if that's the right name, but like the yellow shine to it, the like brown but like really light tan shine to it. I don't really care for, but I still think it's a really pretty floor in the way
But
you
that's
did
the
it.
color that matches the original floor in the washer and dryer room that we were going for. I
I
nailed it.
liked the gray in there.
I remember you saying I didn't like the gray.
Oh no, swap that.
You swapped it. It grew on you.
No. At first, I said, oh, the gray's a little weird compared to what the floor was. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, compared to this, I like the gray. But it's fine. Because it's technically, first of all, not my house. Second of all, it goes with the room, so it's probably fine.
Yeah, I would not like gray. I'm a big fan of not gray.
Yeah, don't go to my bathroom. Me and Lane's bathroom. I don't know why. Whenever Lane's like, oh, let me in the bathroom, or oh, I'm about to use the bathroom, he's always like, oh, or he doesn't, I don't know if he does it this as often, but before he would always be like, oh, I'm about to use my bathroom, or I'm going to go to my bathroom. And I'm always like, be kind, it's our bathroom, we share. I use it because I was using mom's bathroom technically to shower and brush teeth. But now I'm like halfway doing ours, halfway doing mom's because I actually need to brush teeth more when he's in the bathroom. But still, sometimes he says my bathroom when it's not his fully.
No, it is.
No, it's not.
No, hold on. Here's a technicality.
I swear if you say he's older.
No,
Thank you.
that's not it at all.
Thank you.
He's allowed to say my bathroom, and so are you. Because it is yours. You can always say ours, but it's still mine also.
Well, I like saying ours because I think that's like kinder. And instead of being like, oh, it's my house in front of mom, technically you buy, like, even if you pay more bills, you technically share a bank account. So it's technically your, like, both your houses or house.
It is, but it's still my house.
And it's also still her house.
It's also your house. When you have friends over, do you say welcome to our house or do you say welcome to my house?
To be kind, sometimes I say welcome to the house. So it's like they're welcome, but it's also like...
It's still your house. I would still be like, welcome to my house. Can I come over to your house?
Anyway.
Would you like to come over to my house? Do you just say, would you like to come over to the house?
Are you literally going to like keep going like, the house, my house, all this stuff in front of me?
Why not?
Yeah, you're becoming lame.
Am I not making my point? Or is my point just annoying?
Okay.
Or are you just going to stop talking because you can't read at the same time?
I can't actually read this.
It's your handwriting.
That's why. Okay, I see the next one. Upcoming family projects. Either if we're trying to do like a DIY of like, for example, we tried to do tie-dye shirts that we never did. And then also, are we doing like mom's bathroom next? Any type of projects coming up?
No. Next on the list is outside.
Outside. No.
Either we are going to redo this deck or we're going to start the back patio first. But that's all going to be in one combination. That's what we're trying to figure out right now is how we can tie that all together. Because we're going to rip out the brick patio, pour concrete, making a new environment there. And we're going to add all of that across to this deck over here.
Across?
Yeah, so there's going to be concrete like where the brick walkway is and where
Yeah.
the fire pit is. That'll all be concrete.
Where the fire pit is? You're
Yeah.
taking out grass and putting concrete.
Yes. Because water just sits there, so we're going to run the water away from it. We're going to have French drains behind it and all that kind of stuff, and we're going to drain. It's going to have better drainage. So we're going to pour an entire environment back there. And I don't know how we're going to tie that into this deck yet. But this deck needs replaced because it's starting to like fall apart.
I thought you said you were like trying to make stairs up to the deck. I'm like,
We are. All of that so that you can walk in the back. So we can, we could be sitting here right now watching the game. So we're just watching Ohio State versus Michigan.
Michigan
Not happy
won,
that
by the
Michigan
way.
won at all. I knew you were going to say
spoiler, Michigan won. We're really mad about that.
that. So disappointed.
I mean, it was 27-24.
No, it was
No, 27 to 30. My bad. No, 24 to 30.
Yes, it was a 6-point
bad.
difference because they threw an interception in the last chance.
Oh, what was the guy's name that was hilarious to say?
Something Abuka.
Vebuka?
Avuba.
It was something hilarious.
Aruka. Adamame. Abuka.
Actually, there's someone at my school named Haruka. She's
Yeah.
Asian, and that's one of like the most unique names I've ever heard.
I've heard that name before too, yeah. My goal is to do something out here potentially next. But that's going to cost a little bit, and we'll see.
Not a little bit. That's going to cost over $1,000, Dad.
That's a little bit, but yes.
I'm a child, so I'm like, oh, $100 is a lot. No, it's
I know.
not. It's not.
And back when I was your age, it was.
Well, I mean, like, for a
$1
kid,
was a lot for a kid back when I was your age.
it's like, oh, my parents paid me for doing chores. I got like $15. That's so much money. I could go buy like a toy now. But then when you get older, it's like, I got $15. I can't pay for taxes and rent with this.
No. And when I was your age, it was, I did all that work for $1, not for $15.
I do it for 15, sometimes 20.
Yeah, if you're lucky. If I'm
If I
feeling
do
nice.
something, if I like clean the sinks, take out the trash, do the couches, and like lay saw and like all the stuff around the house, I'll get like $15. But then like there's other people at my school who are like, oh, I'm forced to do chores and I don't get paid. Or there's Haven, my parents do all the chores for me.
Well, the other thing, back to the construction stuff, I think we may end up doing my bathroom first before we do Mom's, because we're going to probably do another experiment or two before we get to hers. I don't want to rip hers apart and then play around.
Yours is pretty though. I kind of like him.
The floor is terrible.
Well, yeah, and also, but like the shell sink you have, the like shell.
Oh, it's ugly. It's so tacky.
I kind of like the look, like the idea of it, but not the
No.
look.
No, it's cheesy.
It's cheesy. It's made out of cheese. You just like after washing hands.
That's why I can't stand it. I hate cheese.
I heard it from over here. I'm like,
But we're talking about, like, I mean, first and foremost, that floor has to go. The cabinets were fine if I could go around them, but I really can't.
it's also kind of like low for you.
That's what I was going to say. And then on top of that, too, well, the floor where you first open the door is actually bowing during the temperature. So as we get into the cold months, it swells a little bit, and so it's harder for me to open and close the door into the bathroom because it's lifting off. Remember when we did your floor, how easy it was to remove everything? It's the same floor, same tile, same everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just as easy to, like, once I go for it, I'm just going to take my hand underneath it and probably rip half that floor up in 1 second.
With the fishnet under it thing, Bob?
Yeah, correct.
That was kind of annoying looking for me because it was like, pull, it hurts my hands because it's fishnet, pull, it doesn't work, and then you come over and just pull the full floor out. Literally, I was like struggling there. And you
Yeah.
just came over like
Raw. Yeah.
Hulk.
So I also want to put a heated floor in. And that's what the experiment is. I want to see what it would be like to have a heated floor before I go doing that in the master.
Oh, I saw this girl. She does fun, like weird, wacky things. Like for example, she did.
Does she only do them on Wednesday?
No.
Okay.
She did a chia seed car, chia seed toilet, chia seed couch. That was ruined. She did like all these like a Lego toilet so you weren't like scrolling on your phone. But all these weird things. And one of the things she did was this, there's either a rock or a putty that when you like have a warm sensor to it, or like just anything where it's, if you have a warm sensor to it, it like changes color.
Oh,
From
yeah.
like orange to red or something like that.
Mood ring or mood rock.
Yeah, like a mood thing. And she did a whole mood bathroom with her friend. So it was like when you walk in, it kind of looks purpley, and then you like either splash water in the like it was the whole like sink, toilet, floor. The walls were like a blackish or something, like a dark color. But when you like splash water on the counter, it changed from like this dark purple to like a bright green.
That's
and it
weird.
was cool.
That's not cool. That's weird.
I can look it up for you and send it
I
to
don't know
you.
if I want that.
Well, something like that would look cool for like the guest
I'm also not going to
bedroom.
do a concrete countertop either.
Epoxy.
Yeah.
Maybe. Why am I facing away from the camera? I'm like over here.
Well,
Doing my
because
own
you want
thing.
to talk to all my toys. That's what it is.
Toys. I thought they were always like action figures. They just sit there.
What's the difference between a
And
toy and an
collect
action
dust.
figure?
I know what you need. You need more shelving
Yes.
over
Where?
there.
No, that's where I got 3. I have 3 posters that have to go up on that wall still.
Up there.
Yeah, then you can't see anything.
No one. You don't need to see it.
Well, you kind of do. What's the point of having all of these
No,
cool
'cause
things? if
I
you
would
can't-
walk up if you go like turn where the camera is. You would see it.
I mean, I need a ladder to go pull it off of there to show it to you.
I actually just have to stay on the table and I can technically reach that.
Yeah.
But you don't want me doing that.
No. But I do need another row of shelves or start using the sports ones to add more toys to.
That over here is like crammed like all into one area, but over there it's like one. It's like just put some over in the corner. No one has to see.
I could probably cram all of that into one shelf compared to this.
I know. It's like you're trying to look for one separate action figure. You got 20 million over here, and then you got like 5 over there, and like these 4 shelves.
Yes. But I like my action figures.
They don't get that you're not supposed to slam it door when you're recording.
He has never got that yet.
Did he just say ow?
No, I don't know.
I thought I heard him say ow.
Who knows?
Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay.
The Gatorade made my.
Then I guess we're going to have to pause for a second.
Pause the podcast.
Pause for a station identification. We'll be right back after these short messages.
Yeah, I'm like, we're about to be back after this short ad. Oh, that hurt my head a little.
This show is brought to you by Concrete Mystique.
Trying to find the video to show you. At least she made a pop socket wall and pop socket car. It ends. She also recently made a disco ball skeleton. It's like 9 feet tall. Mood ring bathroom. It was with her friend Robbie.
You may have seen we made an entire mood ring bathroom at my buddy Robbie's place. But I only showed you using a heat gun because we hadn't sealed it yet. Well, Robbie finished sealing it and now he can play with it and it is so cool. Since it's got resin on it, he can touch it. I didn't get to put my hand down. Even friction makes it heat up enough to color change. Look, you can see the hot water from the sink. Or cold. Oh man, I am so jealous.
I saw it dark purple. I guess it was green and blue.
Very much want to walk on that floor or sit on that counter. Let me know if I should go back and visit Robbie. Drive 5 hours just to go to the bathroom.
That would look like a mess all the time.
I mean, you would see if the dogs like use the bathroom and or if someone missed.
No. Okay.
Anyway,
We're back after that short break.
we got 3, 2, 1, and we're back.
It's all right.
Oh man,
all
we're
in
back.
We didn't move. What are you talking about? Like, we should have just paused.
And then like come back and be like, what happened?
That was like some of the videos that I did for Concrete Mystique because the camera kept shutting off halfway through the videos or whatever. And so I went back in and I put a picture of us in the interview and I put loading video, loading in process. And there's a little bar. Oh, and the bar goes to the end of the interview. It never comes back on. You just see a picture of us in this bar just slowly moving through the rest of the interview. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny, actually.
So,
what's next on Rose's list?
Did we talk about future projects? Yes. Okay, we can talk about movies.
Movies?
Upcoming, like Trolls or...
Well, let's go backwards for a second and go, what'd you think of the Marvels?
I loved it, my top 10.
So, Lane didn't really care about it.
I loved it.
I thought it was great, but it flopped. It did terrible at the movie theater. The worst opening weekend for a Marvel movie pretty much for a very long time.
So I haven't watched many Marvel movies, but I think it's with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It might be a little below, but I think it's close to there.
Well, that one you hated because it was so negative, or so tragic.
Well, I mean, I liked it, but I just thought it was really sad. But how much effort and like all the CGI, I think is what it's called, was put in, I thought was like an amazing movie.
I thought the Marvels was fun. My favorite part was when they were, when they finally figured out that they've got to learn how to use their powers together. And so they're standing there, all three of them, and they're like, go, go, go. And they're switching places all the time. And then they're like double jump roping at the same time, and they're switching places while they're doing it. And so the one person stands there like this with nothing in her hands, and they go, and switches into that place to grab a hold of it and start. I thought that was hilarious.
That was a fun part. I think I have like 3 favorite parts. It's just that good. That was one. The other one was when Captain Marvel was out of her ship and flying around with her cat.
Yeah.
And then,
hanging on her shoulder.
Yeah, and then like she would be teleported somewhere, but she'd be trying to like save this one place with like running around with the cat. And then I forget what the girl's name is. It's not Malala. That's the book I recently read. It was something like that. Common rhymes with Malala.
It starts with a K.
Kamala.
Something like that, but I don't think it's Kamala, but close enough.
It's Kamala. Kamala.
Okay.
Anyway, it's when Kamala like switches with Captain Marvel, and she's like being like, "Oh, you're such a cute little cat," and then somebody comes and the cat just goes, "Ow." And she's
Octopus comes out of it and starts killing everything, yeah. That was pretty funny.
That was hilarious. I was
And then when the
broke.
cat had kittens,
That's my third favorite.
that was so funny.
Wait, my fourth favorite is like kind of not really a favorite,
And Lane
but
called
it
it
was
on that one too. Lane was like, all those the little
Fur
eggs they
balls?
kept finding. He's like, they're all going to be little cats, and I'm like, how? And then all of a sudden he was dead on.
Another of my favorite parts was when they went to the water place or where it had like most of the water and it was like you had to sing to like talk to people.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
And then Captain
And
Marvel.
she's the princess married to the prince.
She's like, okay, so I'm very famous here. It's not like that famous. I'm just famous. And then she walks in, and they're like, the princess is here. And then like Kamala and the other girl was like, I wonder what this is all about. And then they walk in the ballroom, and like they look away from Captain Marvel, come back, and she's in like a ball gown. And I'm just like.
And everything had to be singing. That was the best.
And then she was like dancing with him singing. And then they're like, okay.
Oh, and then he was talking to her, and they looked at her, and they're like, well, how can he talk? Oh, he's bilingual.
That was hilarious. I was about to bring up that. I'm like, so, and they were about to sing to try and talk to him. And then he just like, okay, now what's next? And they're like, oh, he's bilingual. I didn't know bilingual was singing and talking.
Well, it goes back to like the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness one, where he's traveling through multiple dimensions, and he's with this girl who can travel dimensions, and he's like tagged along or holding on to her or whatever, and they go through one of the alternate dimensions is all liquid. It's all paint. The whole dimension is all paint.
So you're just like stuck in it.
No. You are paint. You're a blob of paint traveling through blobs of paint.
Roll around.
Basically, but they're just like splashing through for a split second. And he was like, afterward, he goes, was there a moment where we were paint? She goes, yeah, you don't want to eat in that one. You never know what will happen when you go to the next one.
I have a question about that one, but is it like a pool of paint, or is it like the floor just has like a little layer of paint?
No. Your entire universe is all just liquid that you're traveling. You're a liquid.
I know, but with the walls.
There is no walls. It's all liquid.
Okay, so if you had a floor of liquid, is it like a pool layer?
I don't think there's a floor. I don't know. It's a split second. I don't know anything about the liquid universe.
No, because like my question would be, are you just walking through, or are you like kind of sunken through?
I think you're sunken through.
Okay.
There is no
I never
walking.
watched that.
So, yeah, I'll have to show you that. Next.
Okay, next is birthday.
Birthday?
Oh.
Is it barf day? Like you need to barf before you have a day or something?
Sorry.
She just ignored that comment.
No, wait, what happened?
Barf day? Is that what you said?
I said birthday.
Birth?
Yeah, birth.
What's birth?
BIF.
So what did you say? Birthday? That you just spelled birthday. Bilk day.
No.
You spelled bilk day.
That's an R. BIRFDAY. Birthday.
What is birthday?
Birth.
What is birth?
It's when you're born.
Birth.
Birth. Okay, anyway.
It is not a K. It is not an F. It's a
K?
TH. You had a K
Burk.
in that. You just put BIRK.
That was an F.
That was a really bad F.
Yeah, when I'm writing fast, that's what happens.
You make fun of my handwriting.
Oh, no, because when I read yours, I see this.
Oh, no, you have no idea. I should show you some of my old notes that were so small you need a magnifying glass to read it.
Oh, yeah, I can write small, but the way you and Lane write, it's like semi-written. So
Yeah.
it's either like really light where you can't see it, or it's like this.
I used to write really small on purpose for my class assignments to torture my teachers.
I write in a certain way where I was writing for an assignment, or not really an assignment. It was like, say this is your packet you get at the beginning of class. I was writing. You had to work with your partner for something. So I wrote something. They're like, oh, what did you write? They read it, and they're like, rack. I said, that's a P, not an R.
We're going to have to work on this.
Because my P's are like that, and sometimes it has like a little R. I can do it well, but when I'm rushing in class to get to the end, it's because I really, like, my grades are that good that I know what we're being learned. If we learn something new, yeah, I'm like, but if it's something old, I'm like, done, 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 done. Oh, I got that one wrong. It's fine. One wrong,
Okay,
got
so
a
what
10.
about birthdays?
So for
Now
my
that we've
birthday.
clarified what we're talking about, it's not birthday, it's birthday.
Birth!
So what
Not
about
barf,
birthdays?
birth. So for my birthday, I'm indecisive, okay?
Okay, before we get to your birthday,
Your birthday, yes.
No.
No, mom.
No.
Mom.
no, we haven't.
Grandma.
It's good that you brought this up because we have to make a big decision soon about how we're going to handle Grandma's birthday. You know why?
Because she's turning 83.
80.
Oh, I thought she was
It's a
82.
milestone. No, Grandpa's 83.
That's
She's turning 80. Wow. What are we doing for her 80th birthday?
She's going to be like, oh, I don't want much.
And this video cannot come out until after her birthday in case we talk about it too much.
It's probably going to come out like several months after her birthday. That's how
It
slow
could
we
come
are.
out next week. I got time. Lobdell Universe is a lot
Does
easier.
Grandma listen to these?
Nah, I don't know yet.
Don't tell her about this until her birthday's over. Anyway,
Yes, everybody message her and tell her what we're going to do for her birthday.
her phone number is blah. I've seen some people do like, oh, this person, and then they would like do a little beep during it, so you didn't know their name.
Yeah.
And they're like, my phone number is, and then beep. So
Yeah.
her phone number is beep,
Beep, beep, beep, beep.
beep.
Okay, so what about birthdays? What are we doing for grandmas? It reminds me after this, I got to call my sister about this because I keep forgetting to.
Christy or
Yes.
Susie?
I don't call Susie, so yes, it has to be Christy.
Susie.
Her name is Sue, Susie, Susan.
Am I allowed to call her Aunt Susie?
Yeah,
Really?
she wouldn't care.
I've never actually talked to her unless it was on the phone with Grandma.
Well, you have. It's just been a long time. The
What?
last time you were in Salem without me, she took you out to do stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, the last time I remember talking to her is like when Grandma's on the phone with her. I walked in the room and Grandma was like, "Oh, this is Sue." Why did I do
Which
an accent?
reminds me, you used to hang out at Grandma and Grandpa's, and you don't anymore.
Yes, because I was in summer where I had all the free time in the world, and now it's school.
No. You can still go after school on Friday and hang out for the weekend. You used to do it all the time.
It's also that Friday ends at like 5, and when I get home, it's like 6.
So
No, it ends at 5. I get home at like 6.
So why not just go
5:30.
Saturday and spend Saturday night and come back Sunday? What's wrong?
I don't know. Probably because when I get home, I'm just like,
Okay. All right.
I don't
So,
know. And I'm like, I don't really pack for it.
so you have no idea what to do for Grandma's birthday.
Something that's like remember it.
We don't have like a bunch of images to do a remember. That'd be really hard to do. He's just running the blower. It's okay.
Oh, that's the blower.
It's amazing that you can't hear it without this, can you?
No, I can, but it's like
It's
a
amazing how
s-
these mics work. I mean, the mic is not it's not, they're not hearing it, but it is amazing that we can hear this. So when I was doing my when I went to do the competition, the Epoxy Depot, the Floor Wars, I was interviewing a couple guys, and I don't know if I told you this or not, but and the interviews are coming out soon, but we had a band practicing, getting ready for their concert that night in the building. Like, we were sitting right here. This is a wall right here. On the other side of that wall was a stage. And they were rehearsing. So we're sitting here right now, and it was so loud.
Was it where this could hear it, or was it where it's like the background is like how it could hear it?
Well, you could, in the recording, it is there, but it doesn't overpower us talking right now. It was amazing because we're sitting there. At one point, I'm talking to this one dude, and I'm like, I don't even know if anybody can hear us anymore, so I don't know if we should quit this soon. And you could hear us the entire time like it was no big deal.
And you're like screaming in the mic, being like, "I hope you can hear me!"
It was so loud.
Raggedy voice. I forget what it was. Oh yeah, for Grandma. I want to. What if we do a photo montage of like the last 4 photos we took of her?
Right. Just repeat.
Yeah, and then be like, "Here's your last 1 year with us, 4 photos." Being like, that's the whole slideshow.
We are terrible about it. We, to the same point. Mom and I talked about this last night. We never took a single photo all day on Thanksgiving. Not one.
Let's Photoshop, like being like, okay, bring the food back out. Let's take a photo like 3 days after Thanksgiving.
Not one.
It's probably fun because you're like spending time with the family, so you were.
And I'm not
really
even
worrying
saying
about
like,
it.
I'm not even saying, it's not even just me or something like that. I didn't. Your mom didn't. You didn't. Lane didn't. Of course, Lane wouldn't. Grandparents, nobody, not a single person.
You want to know why? Because during that, you're like eating, talking to family. So it's like this phone, throw it across the room. You never know it's there.
Right.
It's like it's full forgotten.
I know. And then later that night, I saw all these friends of mine posting all these group photos and all these great times they were having for Thanksgiving. And I was like, I don't have a single one this year.
And speaking of the slideshow, so when I was watching the middle one of the episodes, it's like Brick was the historian for his like grade 4 years ago, so he's supposed to have a slideshow of the full 4 years from different things. And he's like, I never took those. So Mom, can you take all these photos? She's like, oh no, I'm trying to do this test. You can't do you have to take the photos. And so he's like, okay. And the vice principal is like, oh, don't ruin this, because this is the only thing I can like do on my own without the principal. So don't ruin this for me. And if you do, I'll get back and make sure you have like full PE hours next year, which was like big thing for him. Mm-hmm. And so he went home, and for the full slideshow is this white page, but he's like to everybody, okay, close your eyes and imagine. I wasn't here during this, but being on recess and hanging out with your friends. And then, so he was like up there, like clicking through the slides, and it's just one white slide, another white slide, next white slide. So if you opened your eyes, you just see a white slide after white slide after white slide. But he would be like, moving you through like your own images in your head, being like, remember when you were playing with your friends on the recess yard? And doing all these things. Oh yeah, I was in the library during that, but anyway, you were like on the recess yard hanging out with your friends. Next bit, you were on like this fun field trip that I never went to, and it was hilarious.
That's pretty funny. Which reminds me, I still have my slideshow projector. Remember I rolled it out one day to show you guys some of my old paintings? All right, what's next on your list? We didn't even talk about your birthday, speaking of.
Oh, yeah. We just went, like, sidetracked onto Brick. So for my birthday, I'm indecisive, and I halfway want to hang out with, like, Haven, Brooklyn, Denise, Tony, Michelle, McLean, and, like, all my friend group.
And go bowling like you usually do?
Well, that's the thing. Either I want to go to, like, Urban Air, where it's, like, a jump place, go bowling, or if we get, like, the, game room done where it's like more of a hangout now by my birthday, we could have like them come here and have like a little fun party where I plan things. But it's also like there's those friends, and then there's the like old friends of like Cam, if Anna wants to come, there's Reagan, Riley, and then if like Eli wants to come, and then I want to see if I want to do something with them. But one wants to be like the big birthday party, and one can be like a small side party that doesn't cost much. But, like, I'm indecisive to know what to do.
Well, the thing is, and I'm surprised you guys haven't tried to do this, even more you, because Lane has so many friends. Mm-hmm. I'm kidding. He really doesn't.
He's
it's video like games, and, Lane is the kid that's walking to school looking at his phone this close to himself and not paying attention to anything around him at all.
No, it's more he walks there, and then he stops in the middle of the sidewalk being like...
Oh, no, I've watched him.
Watching YouTube.
I watched him the whole time walking through a pile of people just going... Anyway, I'm surprised you haven't had a party with your friends over here yet.
It's because of, like, all the stuff going on.
But there's always stuff going on.
But
it's never going to stop.
I have seats in my room that I recently have, like, my desk, my bed.
But you have this awesome game room.
I know, but I want to invite them over. But the thing is, if I do that, I'm like, oh, can I push for like a sleepover? And then all the moms are like, I don't know. We haven't even been to the house yet. And I'm like, okay, then we have to do step by step. And then I'm like,
Correct.
what if we plan this? And then it's like, oh, I can have these two friends over. And then I want to invite, like, for example, Haven. But Haven's sister's over that week. So I can't, like, do that because her sister lives in Kentucky and comes over.
Whatever.
But I want to have, like, people over so slowly we can get used to having them over. Because I never actually got a sleepover before with, like, friends that aren't family.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was supposed to have one with Kate. And then COVID rolled in.
Well, to the same point, Mom and I were talking about this a couple months ago. We didn't have sleepovers at your age.
Yeah, but...
I mean, I guess I sort of did because I had a close friend 3 doors down and a close friend 5, half a block away. So we did a lot of kind of stuff every once in a while, but it wasn't really like that kind of reality for us yet. So I don't know, but I also am on the same page as you of like, I think it is a little ridiculous that the parents are all like, well, I don't know how you live. I don't know how you act. I don't know how you treat kids. I don't really want my kid coming and staying at your house because I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. Who cares? It's one night. It's not like we're going to change your life forever and you're going to come back and it's going to be a different kid that's not going to agree with you anymore and fight
like
with you.
We're going to keep your kid.
I mean,
It's also, so I'm going to use Haven's family as an example. It's like, oh, what if you come over and we, like, hang out? But it's like, oh, I don't know. We haven't been to your house. We haven't seen it. We haven't, like, learned your parents that much.
So what?
And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, do you want to go eat somewhere so we can hang out? Because me and Haven want to hang out longer. And they're like, oh, well, we have to go home and, like, go see her, like, grandma, cousins, aunt, and then go get her sister. And then I go to be like, okay, well, then can we plan something in the future? And they're like, I don't know. But you know what? You're always welcome to our house. And then Mom's like, I haven't been to their house yet. So it's...
Well, and that's the problem with her parents, that they are very hardcore about control. Mm-hmm. and they do kind of hover a little too much. Mm-hmm. I can't control that. But the other point to that is, whenever you guys have your little birthday gatherings or friend gatherings that you've had, why it's always like, yeah, you're invited, but the parents aren't. If we invited all these people over here, it'd be like, no, we got plenty of room. Come on over, hang out, check out the house. And if a couple of the kids want to stay afterwards, you can leave early, no big deal. And break that barrier and not have that big of a deal. And go, look, just come over and hang out. I got plenty to entertain you with too.
But I would kind of get this. For the kid, it might be like, oh, it's just one night. Or it's like, oh, we're so much best friends. We hung out for like a year or so, and we want to have a sleepover. And then for the parents, either you're a hover parent or you're like, I'm like,
Ding!
or they're like you, where it's like, oh, it's fine. You can go over. But for some people, it's like, okay, first of all, I don't even know who you are. You might have hung out with my kid, and you might meet like twice. I don't know who you are, though. And then, there's like you who's like, oh, you can go over to their house if we drop you off and if they know you're coming. And they're like, oh, you can come over. Which would be fine for like the kid. But for some parents, it's like, oh no, I haven't even met this person. They're going over. Or they want to like meet.
I mean, what do you think's going to happen? The kid's going to get abused for one night while they're there?
And if the kid doesn't like it, they can kind of tell their parents, being like, I don't want to go again.
The other thing, too, is we all have cell phones now. Yeah. So it's not like you can't immediately text me and go, I'm not comfortable here, come pick me up. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the issue?
So I wish it was kind of that easy, but it kind of isn't. And it's also like, I want to plan to be like, oh, say it's like Wednesday. Can we meet this Sunday? Where it's like not that far of a distance, where it's not like 3 weeks, where I'm like, is it Sunday yet? Is it like the Sunday of whatever yet? And it's not, because for me, that's really hard. But then for some people, I don't know. I think Tony does this. Her mom has it where it's like, you have to notify me 2 weeks before so I can like plan this into my schedule.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, but then it's like for the kids, like, has it been 2 weeks? And then they're counting down, being like, it's been less than 1 week, less than 1 week, less than 1 week. It's been 1 week. And then they're like, oh, one more day, but annoying their parents of it, where then they maybe can't go, or I just want it to happen like really soon, but like
I'm-
not that following day.
I'm a little bit more spontaneous too. It's like if we have the room, we have the time. I'm not in the middle of doing a floor. You know, I mean, it has been chaos to your point. If we're not doing anything that is in the way of you, you know, where you can't walk through that room, like happened many a times over the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
I
But mom's not on the same page as me at all.
So for me, I'm like halfway the person who wants to be like, okay, I have 1 month to figure out what I have to do, but I'm also the person who's like, I have 1 month, so first of all, I can have like time to rest, but also if I plan it out now, I'm gonna be like, oh,
Well, here's
I have
an
to wait
example.
1 month.
But here's an example. We know without a shadow of a doubt right here, right now, that you have off from what, December 22nd or something like that till the 2nd of the year, roughly.
Oh, you said 20 seconds. I thought you said second. I'm like, that's how quick of a break we
So
got.
we have almost 2 full weeks. We already know it. So you can already talk to your friends and go, who's traveling? Because they should know too.
Yeah.
It's not like there's confusion here. Either you're going to be home or you're going to see your grandparents or you're going to see your relatives or, you know, there's something that's always going to happen.
I think that's just my eye, but the smoke coming from the thing,
Yeah.
I see it. I thought it was coming onto the cord. I'm like,
No, I burned some incense on purpose while I was waiting
oh,
for
in
you.
there?
Yeah.
Because I see
I
it where
was
it, like,
waiting for you to notice that there was smoke coming out, but you didn't notice
I
till
could
just
smell
now.
it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
because you're talking, and then I see it come up,
It's
and I saw
jasmine
it where it
flavored.
was like, that smells good though. I saw it where it was coming up like right here, or right in front, where it looks like it was like right up where this was on like fire, and I was like, oh no, that's not even in there.
Nope. So you could already be talking to them and going, hey, what's your schedule? Let's see what we can do. Even if it's to get together, even if it's just like today, you know, why did we not schedule a group gathering somewhere?
I mean, we can see if someone wants to watch the Trolls with us tomorrow. If
You
we plan
could.
tomorrow. But it would be like only 2 people, like McLean, and someone else might be like, oh yeah, I can plan for it to be like the day after. But everybody else is like, oh, tell me a week or 2 weeks before,
You know,
which is hard for me.
we didn't know Trolls was coming out this weekend.
And then with Haven, I talked to her. I'm like,
This
so,
episode is brought to you by Trolls. Band Together. Check it out in theaters today.
wait, it's band together?
It's called Band Together.
I didn't even know that. I've been too busy to really
It
recognize.
says that on your poster.
Yeah, you know,
The
so
poster I bought her for the movie.
it could say something on my phone, and I could like put it on the lock screen, and I read it once, and then like a month later, you look at it being like, what does that say? And I'd be like, I don't know. I just put it there, being like, oh, it might say like 555 change blah blah blah. I don't know what it says.
All right, so I don't want to cut this short, even though it has been over an hour, but I'm getting hungry.
Can I finish one thing with the
Go
birthday?
ahead.
So I talked to Haven about it, and she said that for Thanksgiving her sister's coming over, so she can't really hang out then at all. So we called once and never were able to call again. Maybe we might be able to Sunday. Anyway, she said, oh, but during Christmas I'll be free.
There you go.
So I did try and talk about it because I'm like, I want to meet up because I'm bored. My family's coming over, but I'm bored. And everybody else is having all these cousins coming over. We
Well,
don't
the other
live
thing
close
too
enough.
is like, even if you had a couple friends over and say they all want to check out the pool table, they're not going to know the rules or the etiquette or, you know, you can't walk in here and just start breaking my sticks and being an idiot. You know, there's going to have to be some respect to this room that they're going to have to understand, and you're going to be in charge of that because if something breaks, it's not their fault. It's your fault. It's your friends that you've invited over.
Unless it's like, actually, I told them, hey, don't break that. This is how it works. And they literally on purpose.
But it doesn't matter because the kids are kids. They're going to...
Yeah.
They're hyperactive. I mean, Bryce was here and knew better, and he still broke one of my sticks.
He did?
Yeah, that's why there's only 3 of those over there instead of 4 of the same that match.
I never noticed that because I wasn't allowed in here when he was there.
Yeah,
Or like when everybody's here, like if Grandma and Gerber's sleeping there and you're in here, I'm not really allowed in here.
yeah.
Or if it's like Saturday night, I'm not coming in here unless it's like bedtime.
Which, yes, we have a couple hours until it's my Saturday night, but yes.
But like when it's wrestling, if I come in here, it's like, what do you want? I'm watching wrestling.
fighting, but yes,
Well,
UFC.
isn't that wrestling? We'll get into that some other time.
Yeah.
So do we want to stop here or do one last thing?
I think we need to stop.
Are you sure?
We can do it again tomorrow.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Are you sure we can't do one more?
I'm pretty hungry.
Okay.
She's making notes for tomorrow.
Well, I'm being like, okay, we talked about podcasts, movie, birthday. I had one about like joking around because of the YouTubers I saw, and I'm like, we kind of joked around every so often with like the brick thing. And then we talked about Thanksgiving, mudroom, future things. Christmas was the next thing.
Yeah, that's its own episode. Because we do need to help.
Let me write that down.
do need help on that. So we will do that tomorrow, or then whatever day. And we
Then
do
we
need to
can't-
talk about that because I am
We can't
terrible
release
about
this till
Christmas.
after Christmas.
What's that?
We can't release this till after Christmas. Because I literally will open this and be like, what I want, what mom could have,
Yeah.
what you could have. And then mom was like in the car no, it wasn't in the car. It was one day she just like asked me, so what do you want for like, what should we get Lane? I'm like, a video game. Like an
Yeah,
Xbox video game.
That's what he needs is another video game.
And then I like asked him randomly, like not being like, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Or like, do you want a video game? It's like, he was watching Five Nights at Freddy's and he kind of likes that. So I come over being like, he was watching like a fan knockoff of it where it was like a multiplayer thing that like when you walked in, he was watching that. And I'm like, what game is that one? How do you like download it? And so like, where's money? But like saying it easily where it's like just rolls off. And he's like, oh, it's on Steam. It doesn't cost money. I can ask JC because he has an account. And I'm like, I hope it costs money so we can just get him that as a Christmas present. Because there's like nothing else we can get him. He's always like, oh, I'll take Legos, I'll take video game. But then when we give it to him, it just like piles up in his room.
Yeah.
He like makes it, hangs it. If it drops, it just goes into the tote of Legos and it just piles up in his room. Did you see his room yet?
Yeah.
Did you see what I meant by I just like made a little wall of piles?
Yes. He moves one pile from one side of the room to the other to get.
It was funny because he had the like side table behind the door, and I just saw this like things like stacked on the wall. So it was like you'd have this, then this on top of it, and then this like slanted like this on the wall. And Grandpa Floyd saw it too.
So tune in next time
Yeah,
when we clarify these details. We're just going to keep talking as we fade out into the sunset.
Sunset.
I hope you all had a great interview or conversation with us. I hope you talked as we talked and had a conversation about our conversation simultaneously, because what else do you have to do listening for an hour and a half now?
Well, you might shorten it to be an hour, so you might not.
Yeah, I'm going to cut a bunch of this out. So all of a sudden it's like, done.
Like making a shirt being like,
That was amazing.
we should put that into the intro, being like when you did this. That was amazing.
I have all
and
these
now-
moments. That was amazing.
No, I feel like when I think of an intro, I'm like, oh, you should do a montage of like some of the best parts of the video, but like not say the best part of it. So like this wasn't like what we were talking about. Like that was a fun part of it though. But then also if we talked about brick, I'd be like white slide after just going on, fading into the next thing on a montage.
We're going to have you in front of a white screen doing that.
I want to pull up a slideshow and be like, okay, this is your memories. Close your eyes. There's nothing on the screen, by the way.
All right, I'm shutting this down.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.